Okay, so we are unboxing my new toy. Been getting one of these new toys about once every 2 months because I really just can't help myself. It's become actually a really bad habit. My fiance is probably wondering if I'm going to have any money to pay for a honeymoon after all of these recent purchases and exploitations of my habit. So decided that I wanted to get an addition to my collection that was a little unorthodox, a little bit more rugged looking, and not as uppity, not as not to worry so much about the mechanical movements and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to get a good, solid timepiece that I wouldn't have to worry about getting too banged up. That probably wouldn't likely get banged up in the first place. And so I ended up landing on this. And in case you can't see this, it's a watch made by MTM. You can see the case here. Very nice, very professional, waterproof, watertight case. MTM USA Special Ops Combat Tactical Precision. Very cool. So I'm going to open it up here. Let's see what we have inside. Very nice. Saw one of these on YouTube earlier, and I really wasn't very clear on a lot of the functionality of the watch as it was displayed. This is a pretty good sized timepiece. It's actually not as big as I probably would have thought. Probably would have thought this would have been much bigger, just based on the size, 47 millimeters. And it doesn't look as big as what I was expecting, which is a good thing because I was afraid that it might be too big. So still a pretty chunky piece, really not as heavy as you would think. Of course, it is made out of complete titanium, which would offer a lot of lightness to a watch like this. If it was stainless steel, it would be extremely heavy, but you can get a sense for the presence of this watch. Pretty thick. I think it's about an 18 millimeter thick watch. Looks almost like a chronograph just by the buttons, but for anybody who's explored this watch knows you do have a screw down crown, but the other two what appear to be buttons are actually the top one, which is a light button. You have to unscrew it in order to activate it. You push once to activate a kind of a ultraviolet light, very brief ultraviolet light that comes on for nighttime reading, and it does light up on each one of these indices, which is something that the Falcon did not, and I know that the Hawk did not. So then of course you give it a second push, and you get those 3 super bright LED lights that come on, and then a third time for the strobe, a fourth time for constant on of the ultraviolet. So pretty cool, actually very cool feature. This of course is the Swiss movement. It does have I guess you can't see it there, but at the very bottom it does say Swiss movement at the bottom. That was something I couldn't tell on the website pictures, but it does say Swiss movement on there, certifying that it is Swiss. Really beautiful carbon fiber dial, and I'm gonna get a shot of this thing actually on my wrist. I wasn't exactly sure what my wrist size was. My wrist size, I measured it, and it is about a 7-inch, 6.5, 7-inch wrist. so we'll get an idea of just how monstrous this thing looks. And it's really not that huge. It's really not. Again, 47 millimeters, I would have thought that it would have just had a little bit more commanding presence on the wrist. This is just about right. Just about perfect. Very good looking watch. Beautiful. I am not having any second thoughts on it. Anyway, wanted to get the unboxing video. They did include a NATO strap for me because I pleaded and begged them to include it, and they were kind enough to do that. Got the MTM logo on it, and guess you probably can't see that, but anyway, good little piece of kit. I'm going to spend some time with it and get a little bit more in-depth review. I've been playing around with the watch a little bit. Only kind of downside that I've seen so far that was a little bit unexpected for what I would consider a very sturdy watch, and I'm going to be using as a very sturdy watch, is the bezel. And you can kind of see little squishiness there. That's without a click. It just kind of has a little bit of a free flowing aspect to it in between the clicks. So not a real strong, sturdy bezel. It is the DLC coating seems to be pretty strong. Of course, I haven't really scrubbed it against anything as yet, but just a cool watch. I'm really digging the face of the watch. I checked the date as I kind of move through the dates, because this is a big date watch, as they call it. It does go up, interestingly, to 39. So that little ticker will on its own go all the way up to 39 days before flipping back over to 1. So every month you are going to need to change that. Probably not the biggest deal in the world, and kind of gives you a purpose and a reason to fiddle with your watch at least once a month. So that's always cool in my book. Yeah, this bottom crown here is the charging mechanism. Now you charge the watch through this. This is a sealing watertight gasket here. Thought this was kind of different. It does not come with the stand for charging like the Hawk or the Falcon series. It is all completely charged through that little guy right there. Comes with the cable and a USB port, as well as a AC adapter for the USB port, and then screws in pretty tightly. You can usually tell kind of starts getting a little soft when you start getting further into it, to really show that that it's reached that watertight level. The Swiss movement seems to be pretty accurate. It does have a hacking seconds hand. I wanted to make that clear. It wasn't clear in the documentation, but I did get the seconds hand to stop up at the 12 o'clock position, set the time, and it has been perfectly synced since. Also, the seconds, I don't know if you can see here, but they are matching up pretty well, pretty close to the second markers. Maybe not exactly right on all of them, but most of them it is pretty darn close. I think that the angle there may be throwing you off. Again, this is about an 18 millimeter thick watch, so angle can mean everything on these. Great watch. Again, wrist presence is not as big as I originally thought. One of the really cool things about this is just how strong the hands look in that ultraviolet mode. And I think you get a little bit of it when you hit that, but really cool looking. have that nice orange glow around everything. Almost looks like you're looking at an X-ray. And of course, the effect of the ultraviolet is that it just lights up your luminova almost immediately, and stays lit up as a result of that for good 30 minutes or so. So one quick hit of that ultraviolet will actually leave your luminova going for a good amount of time. I've kept the ultraviolet on for probably a total of about an hour. Have not seen any signs of the battery letting me know that it's running low. On this watch, it's a little different. They have a little light that's about right where my fingernail is there, right where my index fingernail is there. And that light is supposed to light up to let you know when you're running low on juice. Likewise, when the watch is fully charged, it's supposed to light up green. So it's not just a matter of skipping a couple seconds ahead like in some of the other series. It actually is, there's a visual indicator that lets you know when the battery's about to die. I'm impressed. I like it. I plan on wearing it around. I like both the straps. I don't know which one I'll be using more at this point. This one does, the neoprene strap really does kind of make what is already a thick watch stand up a little bit higher on the wrist. So I probably will end up switching back over to the rubber strap, but it was very nice of them to include this after I did some bartering. Great watch. This will be a nice addition to the collection. I don't have a whole lot of quartz watches, so this will be a nice addition of quartz to my collection. I didn't have a military dive type watch either, so this is kind of what I call a two for one in getting the collection done. Also, the gimmick of the light, which I think is going to prove to be beyond just a gimmick. There you have it, the MTM Vulture.